Alrighty, good morning everybody. My name is Javier Sandoval. Today's show we are going to be building a couple websites that I have to make for some clients. And then I'm going to be going through X, aka Twitter, just to look at some news, just to see what's going on in the world right now. So I am going to be scrolling around just to see what's going on right now. Let's see what Mark Zuckerberg is running Meta Superintelligence Lab like a startup. When I interviewed him. Alright, let's start off with this.
Isn't pulling their weight on that, then that's like it has this huge with a few basic principles. So one is huge focus on talent density, right? So you don't need many hundreds of people. You need 50 to 100 people. It's a group science project. You can basically keep the whole thing in their head at once. Seats on the boat are precious, right? It's like if someone isn't pulling their weight on that, then that's like it has this huge negative effect in the way that it doesn't for a lot of other parts of the company. So I think like just this absolute focus on like having the highest talent density in the industry drove a lot of what you heard about. Okay, well, like, why am I going out and meeting all of the top AI researchers? It's like, well, like, I want to know who the top AI researchers are, and I want to, like, personally have relationships with them, and I want to build the strongest team that we can. So that was a big part of the focus. There are other parts, too. Like, I think when you're doing long-term research, one of the principles that we have for the lab is we actually don't have deadlines that are top-down, right? It's like, it's research, right? You don't know how long the thing is going to take. All the researchers, everyone's competitive. They all want to kind of be at the frontier and doing leading work. So, me setting a deadline for them isn't going to, help. It doesn't help them at all, right? It's like they're moving as fast as they can to try to understand the kind of what we need to solve the problem. So we organized.
All right, what are you guys' thoughts on what he's saying so far? What are your thoughts on Mark Zuckerberg as well?
The lab to be very flat. We don't want layers of management that are not technical, right? So the issue is people start off technical and then they go into management, and then 6 months or a year later, you like still think you're technical, but you actually like haven't been doing the stuff for a while. So the knowledge just kind of slowly decays or quickly decays in an environment that's moving as quickly as this. So anyway, those are the basic principles. But I think that overall, taking a step back, I think that AI is going to be the most important technology in our lives, in our lifetimes. Building the capacity to build absolutely leading models, I think, is going to be a really critical and very valuable thing for unlocking creativity, building a lot of awesome things. So yeah, I'm absolutely just going to focus and do the things that we need to do in order to make sure that we can continue to do that.
He's got the Meta glasses out just like me. Right now I'm wearing my Meta glasses. Yeah, I don't know. I bought them last week, so I figured I'd start wearing them daily, or wearing them more than I usually do. Yeah, because when I first bought them, the first day I tried them out for like maybe 15 minutes and just put them right back on the shelf. But yeah, my goal is to wear them more and to use them for more content. And yeah, so I will be wearing these a lot more. Okay, another article on AI. Report Chile is not going all in on AI. Okay. Why Chile isn't going all in on AI? The restaurant chain. Oh, Chili's. Oh, I thought like the country Chile. Never mind. The restaurant chain has made a turnaround, analyst called remarkable. A reinvestment in basic foundational tech is part of the reason, says its CIO. The Chili's turnaround has nothing short remarkable. Okay. I don't know. I think by them not wanting to use AI, that they're not going to fail, but they are definitely going to be hurting themselves, since everybody else is using AI. A lot of big restaurants are implementing AI, like with the robots and stuff and all that. So I don't know. I think by them not using it, they are going to be hurting themselves in the long run.
than a robot doing a backflip. Google DeepMind just launched Gemini Robotics 2, and here's why that trash bag knot is more important than you think. When you see some of these viral robot demos, they're basically just regenerating a memorized sequence. Never harm a human, obey human orders unless that breaks the first law, and protect yourself unless that breaks the first 2 laws. So whether it's folding laundry, screwing in a light bulb, or powering a robot on Mars, Google DeepMind is basically building the brains to power it all. If you want to stay in the loop with the latest in AI and robotics, follow for more.
Alright, so that was basically saying how the robots are going to be in the future, so we'll see how that goes. Top stories in robotics today. FCC bans humanoids from China. Wow. DoorDash is now building its own drones. Oh, that's cool. This is one-wheeled bot. Patrols all night long. Cool. We got police robots. MIT robots now think faster while moving. Quick hits on other robotic news. Boring. Okay, top stories today. OpenAI has escaped AI's claims another victim. Alright, let's find like a cool video or something. Alright, let's check out this DoorDash one. This is DoorDash. I think they're going to be building the drones. Yeah, it's for sure the drones right there. That's all the hardware. Speaking of hardware, I have some hardware right here. I have a Raspberry Pi, the 8GB, but I don't really use it. I have it all together. It was plugged in. I just unplugged it so I can show you guys. I have to grab a screwdriver so I can take it apart. So I will grab that in a little bit. And if you guys have any suggestions on what, I mean, I know what I can do with it, but I have mostly everything that I need. But I would like to build a cool project with it. So if you guys have any cool suggestions, let me know on what I can build. I also have a NVIDIA Jetson Super Nano. So that's something else, something I want to use as well, but I just don't know what to really do with them.
A startup called Morpho is. This drone can replant over 120 acres, which is about 90 football fields in a single day. For context, doing it by hand would take 100 times longer. In Brazil, a startup called Morpho is using AI and drones to bring the dead land back to life. First, drones scan the terrain with high-resolution cameras while teams sample the soil for moisture, compaction, and composition. Then, AI does the hard part. It matches the site with a catalog of over 300 native species, choosing exactly which seeds belong to which soil and which plants should grow beside each other. A drone then fires seed pods at 180 capsules per minute, each packed with seeds and nutrients. Afterwards, the AI actually keeps watching, tracking vegetation cover and biodiversity from the satellite and drone imagery over time. On top of that, every Morpho project plants at least 20 species because diverse forests store far more carbon than single species plantations. The truth is that the Atlantic forest has lost nearly 90% of its original cover. Morpho now aims to restore nearly 2.5 million acres of Brazil by 2030. Knowledge that once took years of fieldwork now fits inside a model, and work that once took years of fieldwork.
Alright, I think we just saw that about Mark Zuckerberg. We saw that. Scroll down. Alright, dynamic roles, compute. Neuralink patients drive wheelchairs by thought. Wow, that's pretty fucking cool. We need to see a video on that. Flux 3 stretches from videos to robots. Flux 3. I think that's where you build hardware on, but I'm not sure. Alright, Black Forest Labs launches Flux 3. The company's new multi-model foundation model. Flux 3 can work across mediums, image, unified video plus audio, and handled both text and image/video inputs as references. Let's take a look at this. Obviously AI generated. That looks real. Channel. You know, I just started. I've had this channel for a while, but I really want to get it going. I want to start making more videos on me building websites, video games, apps. Yeah, building stuff. You know, using the hardware I have. Like I said earlier, the Raspberry Pi, the Jetson Nano, the Orin, and then I have other stuff. I'll bring all that out later. So I'm not rushing today's show. I am just going with the flow. Alright, I want to see this one. Something about AI.
So this is breaking news. OpenAI just admitted that 2 of its own AI models broke out of a sealed test environment and hacked a real company, all to just cheat on a test. So basically what happened was the models were being graded on a cybersecurity benchmark called Exploit Gym, with their safety filters switched off to measure their raw hacking ability. And they were meant to stay sealed in a sandbox. Instead, they found an unknown flaw in one of the tools connecting them to the internet. The models then exploited it and escaped. Then they reasoned that this platform called Hugging Face probably stored the test answers. So they stole login credentials, broke into Hugging Face's servers, and took the answers directly. But the part that researchers can't stop talking about on Twitter right now is that these models were powerful enough to hack live infrastructure on their own. But they didn't try to copy themselves or cause damage. They just really wanted to ace the test we gave them. But the unsettling, unanswered question is what happens when a model this capable is pointing at something with higher stakes? If you want to stay in the loop with...
What are your guys' thoughts on AI and its security? Do you guys trust it? Do you guys feel like it's gonna steal all your information? That's one thing that I never, when I had an AI agent, I never gave it my, like my banking information. Obviously, there's no need to give it to your social security. So I really don't trust giving it all that kind of information. So I just kept it to like my agent was just doing like basic stuff. Alright, OpenAI, I think we just saw that. It hacked a company. No good, so they're probably gonna get sued. Okay. I wanna find a cool video. Something to wake my ass up.
So this man is trying to become the first person to ever cycle solo and unsupported from Antarctica to the South Pole. And his main coach is ChatGPT. His name's James Benson King, and he's gonna ride alone across...
Alright, so he's gonna be riding alone using ChatGPT on a bike. That sounds like a disaster waiting to happen.
Across the ice for up to 2 months, dragging everything he needs to survive through temperatures below minus 40 degrees. See, normally preparing for this means hiring separate coaches for endurance, strength, technical skill, and even cold weather survival. But that takes serious money and time. Instead, James built his own training system with ChatGPT, folding every discipline into one flexible plan he could adjust as he learned. And this isn't just a YOLO experiment. He actually tested it in the Icelandic...
That takes a lot of balls. You would have to pay me for that. Obviously, I'm sure he's getting paid or getting some kind of sponsors or a bunch of views on his videos, but I would not do that.
Icelandic Highlands. When his stove broke in the cold, he described the problem and worked through a fix on the spot. He also used it to design workouts from whatever gear he had. And to make brutal weight-saving calls, he even cut his toothbrush in half. He says it rarely gives him a definitive answer, but it does help him ask the right questions. By his own estimate, he compressed 3 years of preparation into 1. Whether or not he reaches the South Pole, he's already shown what's possible. How far one person can get by turning a tool that everyone has into something that almost no one has attempted. If you want to stay in the loop with the latest in AI and robotics,
China battle test humanoids in the ring. Yeah, I've been seeing that a lot. I was wondering if it was even real or not, but I'm pretty sure it is. But the way they kick like fucking Bruce Lee, so I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can find a video on that. Boring. Coding benchmarks. General agents. Let's look at these. General agents, Fable 5. What's your guys' favorite agent? Fable 5, GPT 5.6 Soul, Kimi K3, Opus 4.8, GLM 5.2, or GPT 5.5. I don't know, lately I'd still been using Opus 4.8 in my code editor, Bunker. It works perfect, I think, so I don't know, that's what I've just been using a lot. It works pretty fast, it reasons well. Yeah. What is this right here? Byte Dancer, C Dance Simplifier looks pretty incredible. No, it doesn't. Codex is 230. Wow, keyboard built for working with codex. I wonder how that works. Let's look at it. Let's look at the chat. Just bought it. Gonna do an honest review on it. As agents become part of daily workflows, we'll start seeing hardware designed around AI first. OpenX AI work louder, going to be interesting collab. So that is a keyboard. Doesn't look like much, but whatever. Okay, Stanford Lab, affiliated with ARC Institute, released proto and open source framework that finally lets researchers combine AI biology. Oh, that's cool. Over 120 of these models already exist, and they can design proteins, DNA, and RNA, but incompatible software data formats made stitching them together and weeks-long headaches. Okay. I'm trying to find a good video. There's Jensen. What do you guys think about Jensen? I think he's really smart. Obviously. He's got his shit together for sure. Meta Louisiana's data center hits $50 billion. I wonder how much water it already guzzled down. And probably all the residents are complaining about the noise. I would love for there to be a data center in my fucking town. Alright, let's find another. Let's see if we can find some AI videos. I want to find some like cool stuff, like robots. I don't know if that's a robot. Is that a robot? What do you guys think? Is she a robot? Looks like she's about to shit her pants. Alright, put in the chat if you want me to build something in Bunker. I'm starting to wake up a little. I've been live for 26 minutes. Like I said earlier, I only slept 3 hours, but I'll be waking up. Alright, this has nothing to do with videos, so I am getting out of here. Alright, AI. Alright, let's go with Cursor. Let's see what Cursor's talking about. I don't know why it scrolled all the way down like that. I'm gonna go all the way back to the top. Okay, cursor. Alright, they posted that July 8th. Now I want something recent. What are your guys' thoughts on cursor? I no longer use cursor. I gave up on it. I got sick of the subscriptions and the invoices. Invoices were way too much for me. My last invoice was about $200. So yeah, I gave up on that. Way too much. Cursor is now on iPad. All the power of cursor on iPhone with more room to work with agents. That's cool. So you can burn more credits on your iPad instead of just waiting till you get home to use it. I'm not trying to bash them, but I'm just saying. In early access, customers observed no drop off in quality with a lower cost per commit versus routing all requests to Opus 4.8. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. 4.8 I think is the best one, but I don't know. Alright, we had a team of agents rebuilds Squill from its 835 page manual. It's created a replica in Rust which passed 100% of a held out test suit. Interesting cost, varied 15 times depending on which model mix we used. Okay, 4.8. Okay, 19 planner worker. Alright. See everything new on cursor, including new cloud agent hooks. Let's take a look. I think I have a message on my phone, sorry. And don't forget, if you guys are watching, please subscribe. I'd appreciate it. I'm trying to build this channel as big as I can. Alright, I'm backing out of this. Going back down. Alright, introducing cursors for iOS. Alright, let's watch this video.
All the same tools I'd use on my Cursor now has a mobile app. I want to show you 3 ways I'm using it. Cursor can test and use my software in the cloud with all the same tools I'd use on my MacBook, and then send me a video demo showing that it works. I can then read the code or give the model feedback, and when I'm ready, merge it from my phone. I usually do these extremely long voice notes where I go into as much detail as possible.
Alright, the thing with that is that my code editor, I can use it as well on my phone. I can text my AI agent on Telegram, and then it can code away on Bunker. But I have it designed to where when it's coding, it'll ask me, do you want this or do you want that, instead of it just coding away and burning all the credits. So I don't know how Cursor does it, but I'm pretty sure they got it to, or they have it, you know, to where it's safe and doesn't just burn all your credits. I don't know. And then I'm sure they have a feature to where they can stop the agent on the phone as well. Three announcements for our keynote at Compile, including how we're training a new model with SpaceX. Alright, I want to look at this.
And so I don't know how many of you all know how Cursor got started and what the first version of Cursor looked like and when it was released. But we as an AI company come from the prehistoric times of January 2022. That's when we started working on all this stuff. And the first version of Cursor, wasn't that long ago, but again, prehistoric from AI times. It was released in the beginning of 2023. And the initial phase of the company's life sort of had a little bit of a detour, where we were really excited about working on tools for developers and working on AI coding, but we didn't do it at first. And the reason we didn't do it is the group of people that started this company, it was just 4 programmers, 4 really young programmers that wanted to build things that were useful, but saw the set of people working on AI coding and basically were a bit nervous that we couldn't really compete. At the time, the sets of companies working on AI coding were already really large. There were dozens of startups. There were big tech companies, of course. There were the gargantuan, sort of, even though they were small at the time.
All right, I asked earlier, but what are your guys' thoughts on Cursor? When did you start using Cursor? And what's your favorite thing about Cursor? And if there's one thing you can change about Cursor, what would it be? For me, one thing I would change with Cursor is, obviously they have to have those invoices, but I don't know, those invoices are too much. There's got to be a way to where they can reduce it so the price isn't so fucking high.
Are much bigger now, but very scary and intimidating AI labs. And we looked at all of the people working on AI coding in 2022, and we thought, there's no room. There's not much to do. People have got that covered. And we kind of went about our way during 2022, worked on a series of projects, but we kind of caught the bug. We couldn't stay away from it, couldn't help ourselves, and we started working on Cursor at the end of the year. Fundamentally, because we wanted to build a tool that we really liked, and a tool that we would want to use. And nothing out in the market really checked that box for us. And so we did what any group of introverted, not particularly adept at company building, enterprising developers would do, and we kind of went in a cave, and we coded in our underwear for like 2 weeks, and we built a prototype. And that was how we got started. And the first initial humble goal was to build a product that could be our development environment, that we could stand using. Like, it didn't make us 2x less productive than whatever we were using before. We got to that goal after a couple of weeks by cobbling together, actually a product that was entirely built from scratch and wasn't based on the same foundations that the first version of Cursor later became based on. We built kind of the pieces of an open source code editor from scratch. We built language server integrations, remote SSH, at the time a Copilot integration too, because there wasn't even autocomplete within the product. And we got to something that we could stand using. And then we sent out a beta invite list. It was attached to this kind of movie magic demo that one of the co-founders made, and got a bunch of people signing up and hand onboarded the first 20 users. Walked them through how to use the product, got them set up, sat by them. And the first user didn't really like the product that much. The second user didn't like the product that much. They actually ghosted us. They wouldn't talk to us anymore. And the third and the fourth, it was also a little bit of a tepid reaction, but we soon got...
Yeah, when I launched Bunker, I do want people to test it out and give me their honest feedback. I've been testing it out, and I've been using, Copilot. I don't use Copilot no more, but I was using Copilot, Cursor. Obviously, I use VS Code when there was no AI. But yeah, so Bunker, I'm not trying to brag because it's mine, because I own it, but I have no issues with it. I ask it to build any kind of website, for like my clients, whatever. My clients want a website for a restaurant, say, it will easily build it. And then if I want to improve my AI agent, my Bunker easily updates it, fixes it, and does whatever I basically ask of it.
To a place where we got a couple of developers using the product and actually daily driving it every day. And that started the kind of fundamental loop that all through all this craziness we followed over the past few years, where every single day we just think about how can we make the product better for us, and how can we make it better for the community that we're building with. And that initial set of 20 beta testers, still email with them back and forth. The next kind of phase of the community was a Discord server that we had. We actually hired many members of that Discord server. And now events like this are kind of the next extension of that community. When I look around at what we're building now, I think, one of the things that I'm most excited about is that through all of this craziness, there's a group of people whose fundamental kind of core ethos is it's a group of developers building for developers. And it's a very deeply product-focused company. And so we have some big announcements to go through today, 3 big announcements. Before we go into those announcements, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the ways in which Cursor has changed over the past 3 months. And change we have a lot. You know, that first prototype, there's not a single scrap or line of code that exists within our code.
All right, changes. I think changes they need to make is that I think it's too expensive right now. I mean, I don't know how they can change it to where it's cheaper, but let's see what he says about his changes.
Based from that first prototype. There's also not a pixel on the screen that exists at all. And that happened relatively quickly because the code wasn't very good. Pixels on the screen weren't very good. But there's been turnover time and time again in Cursor. And you know, our goal is really to build something that we'd find useful, that developers in the community find useful. And with the pace of change of the technology, that's changed many times over. And that's definitely changed recently. The first big theme that we've thought over the past couple of months and ways in which we wanted Cursor to change is we wanted Cursor to become simpler and more powerful, and in particular, really to be fundamentally built for working with agents, to be agent first. And that's a transition that's happened over the past year and a half, but it's really, I think, finally come.
All right, here's one thing with Cursor is that you use their agent, so you really don't have control of it. Like, yeah, you do have somewhat control of it, but in Bunker, you have full control of it because you can bring your own agent. So yeah, that's what I like more about, you know, my code editor, is that your agent is in full control and you can program your agent to be however you want, like a senior dev, a junior dev, mid dev, or yeah. So that's what I like about Bunker. So, and yeah, that's what I don't like about Cursor, is that you're using their agent and you can't really control it much. So yeah.
Come into place over the course of the last 3 months. And so, for instance, at this point, over 95% of users of Cursor use us primarily as an agent. The vast majority of our business is being a coding agent. At this point, even on a request basis, agents are used about 5x more than any assistive features, for instance, like tab. And then when you control for lines of code, it's many orders of magnitude more usage on the agent side of things. To get there, there's been lots of changes, both on the product side of things, on building really great harness side of things, on the model side of things. And in particular, over the course of the past month or two, the way in which people experience Cursor, the pixels on the screen, has changed a bunch with the release of Cursor 3. This is what Cursor looks like now, and fundamentally it's agent first. You have agents in the left, you have agents in the center. It combines the power of a development environment that's fundamentally built for working with agents, with also all of the power you expect in a professional development environment. And so you still have the ability to edit files, you still have great remote SSH support, you have language servers running always and doing the normal linting operations you would expect from a professional development environment. So there's no compromise there. And in addition, I think over the past couple of months, we built a really great set of pro features for working with agents. And for instance, that includes things like design mode, where you can gesture at the screen that you're building with the agent, and you can ask it to change a particular element of a website. And this is part of a broader theme of we want working with agents to feel like working with colleagues. You should be able not just to talk back and forth with them over text chat, but point at a screen together. Cursor 3 comes.
All right, I know you guys haven't used Bunker, but if there's one thing that you guys would like me to add to Bunker, let me know, so that way I can implement it, that way I can test it out, and then yeah, I'm basically building it, so people like it, enjoy it. I'm not competing with Cursor at all, obviously. They're a billion-dollar company, but I do want to use Bunker so we can add things to it that Cursor doesn't have, so we can just have it the way we want to have it.
With advanced features also like recursive subagents, you can have subagents that call subagents and have whole teams of agents at your disposal. You can see everything in the context, and many more features like this. A big part too of this next phase of the product has been getting to a place where agents can do entire features, entire bug fixes, and entire projects for you. And I think that most developers haven't gotten to this point. Most people, whether it's in our product or in competitive tools, they're working with agents and handing them bits of work, 30 minutes worth of work, an hour worth of work.
I'm just,
they're running 3 to 5
someone,
locally on their computer and having them make
one of my
local
clients
calls.
because they want me to build them a website.
And that's obviously not the future. Like, you're not going to have coding ASI and just be running all these agents locally on your computer and having them bottleneck by falling over each other on the same code base. We need to get to a world where working with agents is really like working with a colleague. And you can treat it just like you have your own team of engineers. And you need to be able to hand off whole projects and have the agent go work on them for days, and then come back to you with the thing just done, completed, and tested. And so a big part of that has been investing in giving agents their own computer and making that experience especially simple, especially fast, and especially...
I'm going to be jumping on bunker. So let's hop over here. I need to... Alright, there's bunker right there. There's bunker. Look at that. Alright, there's bunker, you guys. That's my code editor. Right now I have it in agent mode. And I am going to be using Grok. So I am going to... yeah, I'm using Grok like I said. I have it in agent mode. And I am testing agent mode. I want to see how agent mode works for building video games. I do have a prompt ready, so I am going to be sending the prompt, and let me just find where I put it. I don't even remember where I put it. Alright, let me find the prompt. Boom. Alright, give me a second. I have it in here somewhere. It's in my notes, or my email notes. Because I am gonna test it out with a video game type. What folder is that? Okay. Alright, you guys, it's gonna be a game. It's gonna be like a neon brick breaker game. It's gonna have some pretty cool graphics to it. It's gonna have like a bouncy ball, and it's gonna be using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and I am going to implement the prompt right now. So yeah, like I said earlier, I'm in the testing phase with agent, so let's see how it goes. Alright, so boom. Alright, so I'm just reading to see what it's gonna be doing, seeing if everything's set up. Alright, let me see what else I can add to it that'll be cool. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna create a folder right now. I'm gonna call the folder Brick Blaster. Alright, open folder. Alright, new folder. Brick Blaster. Okay. Alright, everything's activated. Everything's looking good. I just gotta go back and get my prompt. almost there. Bear with me. Just making sure the prompt is not perfect, but just making sure it's able to pass the test that I need it to pass. So, and like I said earlier, the reason why I use video games for my testing is because websites, I mean, they're not easy to build, but video games are a lot harder to build because you got the graphics, and then and then you got the animation, the sound, and all that stuff, graphics. So alright, here I go. I'm gonna send my prompt right now. I got my folder, everything is ready to roll. Bam, there we go. There we go. There's the built-in agent. It is working so far. Everything is crossing off. Damn, look at it, code. Code's fast. I'm not just saying that because I own it, but alright, if there's one thing you would change about Bunker, like the layout, the UI or whatever, put it in the chat, let me know. If there's one thing you like so far, let me know as well. Let me know what you guys think about it so far. Alright, it's already made the index HTML. It's already got CSS. And then I think next is going to be building the JavaScript. And then we will be testing out the game. Let me know what you guys think about my glasses and my chain. Alright, there's this right here is JavaScript. I'm gonna just read it. And Windows, okay, resume. Alright, so it's got a start button. And boom. Alright, put in the chat if you guys are proficient with JavaScript, or if you even guys know what JavaScript is. And then also put in the chat if you guys know what HTML is, CSS is. If you don't know what CSS is what gives it like the style, the coloring, what makes it basically looks cool. JavaScript is what gives it the cool features, like when you push a button and like it goes to another page, or like for this one, for the video game, when you push a button, it's gonna make the car take off, or the car, you know, go faster or whatever, or you know, give it controls, go left, right, up, down. And then index HTML is basically like the skeleton, like the layout, like, you know, the title of the game and all that other stuff, the instructions. Damn, it's coding pretty fast. I pasted that about 2 minutes ago. So yeah, so far it checked off most of the things I wanted it to do, all the things I wanted it to do. So let's see if it's gonna work. So far so good. And if you guys can't help a brother out, subscribe, please. I really appreciate it. I really want to get this channel growing, and I want to build like a community to where, you know, we all talk to each other, help each other out. I think that'll be cool. Alright, sweet. It built the audio. Sweet. It's got the graphics. Alright. Now it's just finishing up, I believe. Export. Alright, there it goes. It's adding the ball, the bricks, the laser. Sweet. Audio bounce. Sweet. So every time the ball bounces, it's gonna have some kind of noise effect. Alrighty, should be done soon. It is a big game though. I gave it a big prompt. It was alright, there it is. Boom. Task complete. Alright. Let's check it out. See how it went. Let's move this over. Alright, let me look at the instructions on how to play it left, right. Or you can move the mouse. Space to launch the ball, fires laser, P to pause. Alright, let's bring it down a bit. Alright. Start button isn't working. Now I need to go over here to ask the agent why isn't the start button working. So bear with me. Like I said earlier, this is just a test for the internal agent. Alright, so now I just need to tell the agent continue to fix the bugs, and then the start button should work. Let me know what you guys think about the UI so far. Neon, Breaker, Synthwave, Brick Blaster, Multi-Ball, Wide Paddle, Laser, Slow Ball. Alright, yeah, so far I think agent mode is good so far. Everything's running well. Now it's just making a couple edits. Alrighty. And I do plan on going live every morning around 8 or 9. Let me know in the chat if you think I should go live at 8 or 9. I think I should start going live at maybe 9 or 10, because I am not a morning person. Because I used to work third shift, so my body's just used to being up all night. But I'm getting there. Before, like last week, I was sleeping till like 2 p.m. So I could tell that my body is getting used to waking up early. Maybe I should get some kind of coffee. I didn't even eat breakfast today either, so that's probably another thing I should start doing is eating before I start building. Or maybe even work out. There it goes. Okay, it ran node. Boom. It's running the nodes. Sweet. Okay. Alright, edited, writing brick blaster. Okay, running select string, pattern. Okay. Alright, look at all those green check marks. So everything's looking good for the internal agent. So that's awesome. Once I get the built-in agent, you know, working good, I will have this available to the public. So yeah. And then, I don't know, I think most people, they like to build their websites or their SaaSes behind closed doors. I don't know, I like to build in public, because obviously I'm not perfect, nobody's perfect. And alright, modified, fixed, okay. Alrighty, looks like the game is ready to rock and roll. Let's check it out. Click out of that one. Okay, bam. Alright, I need to get ready, because I need to use the mouse pad. Alright, use my left hand. Okay. And then space to launch the balls. Alright. Sweet. What do you guys think about the audio? I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna try to catch it. Ah, mother. Alright, I'm getting the hang of it. Now I think I know what to do. Alright. Boom. 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 Slow ball. Alright, that's cool. Alright, put in the comments if there's something you would like me to add. Or if there's something you don't like. Oh, I went too far. Got it. Next level. Score 6,750. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, what'd you guys think about the first level? I am heading to level 2. Alright. This is probably going to be faster, but we'll see. And remember, guys, my internal AI agent built this. So, yeah. Alright, this one's a little harder because now I have to use the mouse. Not harder, I think it's probably better with the mouse. There we go, give me all those points, baby. Ah, motherfucker. Jesus, yeah, it's a lot harder with the mouse for sure. But let me know, or I'll give it another shot. Don't forget, please like, subscribe. Once again, this is Bunker, my code editor. The reason why I have Bunker is to get away from invoices, subscriptions, so my AI agent's in full control, or in more control. And then the internal agent did pass the test, so I think I will have this live for the public probably within a couple days. And I would like some random people to test it out for free, so whoever wants to test it out for free, let me know. I'd really appreciate it, honestly. The more the better. Alright, boom. This last one's gonna be hard. There we go. Got it. Oh, Jesus Christ. Let me see if I can still use left to right. No. Alright, I'm impressed with what I built. Cursor didn't build this. Copilot didn't build this. Bunker built this. And then, obviously, if it can build this, I know it can easily build like a landing page, a website, a static website. So yeah. Put in the chat on if you want me to build something different tomorrow for the show. Something cool. If you want me to build an AI agent that controls my computer or does cool shit, or an AI agent that plays the game with me. This game is pretty cool. I'm actually gonna save it. Normally when I'll test something out, I just delete the folder right away. But this one, I think it's cool. I think it's worth keeping. My daughter will probably like it, to be honest. That's the thing too about Bunker, is that we're building and developing it, so it's good at building games and websites, of course, all that stuff. And then it's proficient with all languages like Python, C++, all that stuff. Oh damn, that was a good one. Alright, let's get this last one, and then I'm going to be ending the show. So please like, subscribe, let me know what you guys think about the game. Let me know what you think about Bunker. If you guys have any questions, put them in the comment section, and I'd really appreciate any kind of feedback, whether it's good or bad. And then yeah, like I said, I am building this channel. I want it to be about AI, tech, and you know, building websites and stuff, and then building stuff with hardware. I'm gonna grab a screwdriver and open this. Fuck it. I'll be right back. I'll be right here though. I won't be gone. I'll be like 1 minute. I'm just grabbing my tools. I want to open up my Raspberry Pi. Alright, I gotta find the right screw. Okay, I think this one's it. Normally I have like a light on my head when I'm building, or not building, fixing stuff. Too small. This has got to be it. Yep, that's it. That's it. Let's not lose the screws. Alright, sweet. And then yeah, this is the tool I'm using. It's a little screwdriver. It's magnetized, so when you unscrew it, the screw sticks to it, which is cool, because I thought I was about to drop it. Alright, need more light. Got it. Alright, let's see if it opens without breaking it. I think that's all the screws. Of course, there's two more on the bottom. Came out easy. Oh, thank God, it's got a magnet to it. And like I said earlier, give me some ideas on what I can build with this. I mean, I know what I can build with it, but I don't know. I just want to build something cool. Something maybe we can not build together, but something I can build live on the show. There it is, my Raspberry Pi. Let me know if you can see it. Right there is where you plug in like the keyboard, the mouse. That's where you plug in the Ethernet. And then right there is the hardware, and then the SD card. Yeah. Alright, put in the chat on what I should build with my Raspberry Pi, 8 gigabytes. Alrighty, that's it for today's show. I might go live later, I don't know. Put something in the comments and maybe I will go live later. Maybe I won't, I don't know yet. I'm off for the next week, so I will be doing a lot of building. And as for Bunker, the internal agent did pass, so Bunker is 95% complete. So yeah, we are moving along. And then as for BYOA, bring your own agent, that one passed all the tests as well. So yeah, everything is ready, everything is coming along. Whoever stayed and watched the show, I really appreciate you. And yeah, you guys have a good day, and I will see ya.